Today we're heading to the heart of Lake County, to a city with a vision that refused to fade.
Not just the county seat, not just a waterfront town. This is a city built on ambition, from citrus groves to railroads to seaplanes in the sky. From the sun-soaked shores of Lake Dora to the hidden hollers of Umatilla, this is What's Up Lake County.
I'm Jessie Brooks, and along with my co-host Ben Travers, we're diving into the stories that matter in Lake County, Florida. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
We're talking headlines, hometown heroes, and everything in between. If it happens in Lake County, it's happening here.
No spin, no fluff, just real stories about real people. We're diving into the ambitious origin story of Tavares, a city shaped by railroads, fire, aviation, and one man's dream to put Lake County at the center of it all.
It was 1880 when a man from New Orleans stepped off a train, looked across the pine flatwoods and lakes of central Florida, and saw more than just wilderness. He saw potential, vision, power.
His name was Alexander St. Clair-Abrams, a lawyer, newspaperman, and railway promoter. He named the city Tavares after a Portuguese ancestor, a name he hoped would one day be spoken across the country as the capital of Florida.
He wasn't your typical pioneer. Born in 1845 to a wealthy Creole family in New Orleans, he came to Florida after the Civil War with a vision rooted in industry and influence. He had already helped establish newspapers in New Orleans and Jacksonville and had a deep understanding of how transportation, especially railroads, shaped the future of cities.
Abrams poured over $500,000 into the town, a fortune at the time, before the decade was up. He built the Peninsular Hotel, a cigar factory, a lumber mill, shops, cottages, and laid out streets named after European nobility and family members, imagining legislators walking these roads. He lobbied hard for Tavares to become the state capital, even printing promotional materials and influencing regional politicians. It didn't work out. Tallahassee would remain the capital, but his ambition turned Tavares into a vital regional hub.
The turning point for Tavares came in 1887, when it beat out Leesburg and other rivals to become Lake County's official seat. Abrams leveraged that victory to attract a railroad line connecting Tavares to Orlando. Soon after, the Tavares and Gulf Railroad and Tavares, Orlando, and Atlantic opened routes through the region, bringing trade, travelers, and new residents.
But then tragedy struck.
In 1888, a massive fire swept through downtown, destroying much of what Abrams had built. Then came the Great Freezes of 1894 and 1895, which decimated citrus groves across central Florida. The twin disasters slowed growth, and Tavares never quite regained the momentum Abrams had dreamed of.
Still, the town endured.
Even as its capital dreams faded, Tavares began to build itself as a true community. In 1885, Abrams donated land for the Union Congregational Church, one of the oldest still active churches in the county.
By 1912, the people of Tavares raised funds, both public and private, to build the pavilion on the lake, a social gathering place for dances, civic events, and concerts. The town formally incorporated in 1919, and just a few years later, the old Lake County Courthouse was completed. That stately classical revival building still stands today, now home to the Lake County Historical Museum, preserving artifacts from Florida's early frontier days.
Tavares might have missed its chance to lead on the ground, but in the sky, it took flight.
On February 23, 1914, one of the world's first licensed pilots, Tony Janis, landed a Benoist flying boat on Lake Eustis. A month later, aviation pioneer Clair-Abrams took off from those same waters. Tavares had entered the history books as one of the first cities in America to host a seaplane landing.
Tavares might have missed its chance to lead on the ground, but in the sky, it took flight.
On February 23, 1914, one of the world's first licensed pilots, Tony Janis, landed a Benoist flying boat on Lake Eustis. A month later, aviation pioneer Clair-Abrams took off from those same waters. Tavares had entered the history books as one of the first cities in America to host a seaplane landing.
Decades later, that story became identity. Tavares rebranded itself as America's Seaplane City. The city built out Wooten Park, complete with an FAA-licensed seaplane base, marina, splash park, and flight charter services.
Tavares sits on a narrow strip of land between Lake Dora and Lake Eustis, with the Dora Canal connecting the two. The area's natural beauty is legendary, Spanish moss-draped cypress trees, winding waterways, and some of Florida's best boating and fishing.
From St. Clair-Abrams' capital fantasy to seaplanes on the lake, Tavares has always been more than just the county seat.
It's a place where vision meets resilience and where history is still very much alive.
Next time you're in downtown Tavares, take a walk past the pavilion, visit the old courthouse, or sit by the water and watch a seaplane take off. You'll be standing in a city built on dreams and still chasing the sky.
Got a story Lake County needs to hear?
A memory, a mystery, a moment in history. If it happened here, we want to know about it.
Drop us a comment, send us a message, or tag us in your post. Local news, upcoming events, family legends, forgotten headlines, nothing's off limits.
Your stories are Lake County's story. Let's tell it together.